Can you solve all these business administration questions? Cram is dash. Good job, customer-centric works well. Select the odd one out. Correct. Business entrepreneur is spot on. Debts owed by the business. Bravo, liabilities is the answer. An amount owed by a business. Excellent. Liability is well reasoned. Internal business environment. You chose organizational structure. Correct? Business finance is a part of. On track. Private finance is correct. A business owned by one person. Excellent choice. Proprietorship is right. Which is a business liability? Sharp thinking. Creditors is right. A debt that a business owes is. Smart pick. A liability is correct. Dash business risks can be dash. You got it. Reduced fits. Initial first stage of business. Great thinking. Idea generation is right. Operating leverage measures dash. Right again. Business risk is valid. Regulation of business is done by. You're right. Government is correct. Which business is not a franchise? Nice work. Nike fits perfectly. Macro environment is controlled by. Valid point. None is true. Form of business owned by one person. Strong choice. Sole proprietorship is right. Bonus. The is an example of a. Correct response. Administrative agency is accurate. The highest point in business cycle. Good thinking. Peak is right. A business run by one person is a. Perfect. Sole proprietorship is the one. One of the component for BMC is. Clear logic. Business partner is sound. A business owned by two or more people. Right choice. Partnership is best. What is the top Scrum business driver? Great job. Automation, productivity, efficiency is accurate. Person who owes money to the business. Smart move. Debtor is accurate answer. Business and its environment are dash. Solid response. Inseparable is valid. It enhances the understanding of data. Nicely done. Business analytics is solid.
Strategy is the term derived from dash.
Well reasoned. Military is correct.
Stability strategy is a dash strategy. Nice selection. Corporate level is correct. Financial statements are a lens to view. Exactly, business makes sense. Anywhere a business exchange takes place. Well done. Market is right.
An individual or group who buys products.
Well picked. Customer is correct. It is also known as business forecasting. Good thinking. Business prediction is right. The law that covers business and commerce. Well picked. Commercial is correct. How many types of business presentations? Great thinking. 4 is right. In writing business letters, one has to be You're right. Professional is correct.
Accounting is often called the language of.
On track. Business is correct.
Which of these does the business lose money? Strong choice. Introduction is right.
Sells its products in more than one country. Smart move. Global business is accurate answer.
Dash is a dimension of business environment.
Right again. Economic environment is valid.
There are several types for business proposal. Good job, 2 works well.
Dash is called as the lifeblood of business.
Correct response. Finance is accurate.
This type of business is owned by one person. Excellent choice.
Sole proprietorship is right.
Creditors claims to the assets of a business.
Perfect. Liabilities is the one.
It is a data-driven decision-making approach.
You chose business analytics. Correct.
Dash is not a feature of business environment.
Nice selection. Employability is correct.
An owner's claim to the assets of the business.
Great job. Owner's equity is accurate. How many legal cases in business communication? Clear logic, 5 is sound.
Which is not a basic type of business ownership.
Excellent. Retail is well reasoned.
The type of law enforces legal rights and duties.
Well reasoned. Procedural is correct.
Group of laws that define our rights and duties.
Nicely done. Substantive law is solid.
It is the spent on the operations of the business.
Correct expenses is spot on. What functions are not inside business analytics?
Valid point. Dashboard is true.
The business cycle is made up of how many phases?
Nice work. 4 fits perfectly.
This is the other term for environmental analysis. Sharp thinking. Pestle analysis is right.
The most common form of business organizations are.
Exactly. Sole proprietorships make sense. Progress reports presented by subcommittee chairs. Bravo. Committee reports is the answer.
Which term describes an amount owed by a business?
You got it. A liability fits. A business and its owner are 2 separate entities. Smart pick. Business entity is correct. Anything that is bought or sold is called a dash. Well done. Product is right. The judicial branch of government creates dash law.
Right choice. Case is best.
Person who owes money from a business is known as a... Solid response. Debtor is valid. A business whose owners enjoy limited liability is a... Well picked. Corporation is correct.
Which form of business is the easiest for beginners?
Exactly. Sole proprietorship makes sense. How many process of business environment assessment?
Right choice. 4 is.
The Supreme Court only hears cases with dash issues. Excellent choice. Important is right.
A business owned by a single individual is called a...
Correct. Sole proprietorship is spot on.
A key benefit from offering good customer service is
Smart move. Repeat business is accurate answer.
Which of the following is not a function of business?
Great job. Capitalism is accurate.
All are the features of business environment, except
Well-reasoned. Simple is correct.
a business organization that has members is a dash.
nice selection. Lelsey is correct.
Which of the following is not a business organization?
Strong choice. Perfect competition is right.
Type of business analytics refers to what happened.
Good job. Descriptive works well.
The majority of business in Australia is transacted by.
Nicely done. Companies is solid.
All parties which interact with a business are known as
Perfect. Stakeholders is the one written or spoken agreement which is enforceable by law.
Correct response. Business contract is accurate.
Which of the following is not nature of small business? Bravo. Non-community based is the answer.
What is the most used social media website in business? Valid point. Facebook is true.
influences that come from within the business are in the
You're right. Internal environment is correct.
Management of finance for individuals are called as dash.
smart pick. Personal finance is correct.
Short-term liabilities that a business owes its creditors.
Well done. Accounts payable is right.
The task of any business is to deliver dash at a profit.
Nice work. Customer value fits perfectly.
Which of the following is not a business letter category?
Solid response. Explanatory communications is valid.
How many types of business activities can a business have?
Right again. 3 is valid.
Someone who creates their own business is called a dash.
Clear logic. Entrepreneur is sound. Dash is an external environment factor affecting business.
Great thinking. Political environment is right.
Following is not the dimension of the business environment.
You got it. Nature fits.
A business owned and run by one person is called a dash.
On track. Sole proprietorship is correct.
Which of the following is the reason for business failure?
Good thinking. Poor management is right.
Which of the following is not a type of business analytics?
Sharp thinking. Preemptive is right.
A business that sells its products only in its own country.
You chose domestic business. Correct.
Daily household purchases would fall under the category of.
Excellent. Consumer market is well reasoned.
Assets taken out of a business for the owner's personal use.
Exactly. Withdrawals make sense.
Someone that takes risks and opens his or her own business.
Well done. Entrepreneur is right.
It is an example of general forces of business environment.
Nice selection. Government is correct.
Business dispute brought to a court of law for adjudication.
Excellent choice. Business lawsuit is right.
What appears before the date in a personal business letter?
Valid point. Address is true.
Original work or invention which is the result of creativity.
You got it? Intellectual property fits. A private limited company's business name often ends in dash.
Right again. Let it is valid. These are the most important resource of any small business.
On track. Employees is correct. The operating environment surrounding the business is part of. Smart move. Microenvironment is accurate answer. People who own, operate, and take risk of a business venture. Right choice. Entrepreneurs is best. Obtaining a loan for the purpose of starting a small business. Smart pick. Administration loan is correct. It is a need in the marketplace that is currently unsatisfied. Well picked. Niche is correct. Buying assets required to operate a business is an example of. Bravo. Investing activity is the answer. What represents how much a business should charge for an item? Correct. Equilibrium price is spot on.
For a business, income remaining after payment of expenses is.
You're right. Profit is correct. A person who is associated with starting a business is known as. Excellent. Entrepreneur is well reasoned. A brief account of the key points contained in a business plan. Good job. Executive summary works well. What is often the result of positive customer-client relation? Nice work. Repeat business fits perfectly. The management function of business is usually responsible for. Well reasoned. Setting policy is correct. Which of the following is not one of the Scrum business drivers? Strong choice. Accountability is right. An all-purpose record of business transactions is called a dash. Clear logic. General journal is sound. Dash are all of the sources of money available to the business. Good thinking. Financial resources is right. Dash are property and other items of value owned by a business. You chose assets. Correct. A business form ordering a bank to pay cash from a bank account. Perfect. Check is the one. Set of laws, which encompasses the employer-employee relationship. Great thinking. Employment law is right. Business analytics is interdisciplinary, involving the FEFG except. Sharp thinking. Psychology is right. Department of Info System records business transactions is dash. Correct response. Accounting is accurate. A business with the main purpose of gaining profit is called dash. Solid response. Profitability is valid. Printed and online promotion is needed in starting your business. Nicely done. Advertisement is solid, which is not a part of the 6 required parts of a business letter. Great. Job subject line is accurate. All of the answer below are form of business organization except. Nicely done. Venture is solid. Business environment does not have the following characteristics. Excellent choice. Employees is right. first name can be used in business communication if you deal with.
Great thinking. Americans is right.
A carefully developed overall approach to leading an organization.
Good thinking. Management strategy is right.
A business that creates its own plan to expand its economic growth.
You chose big idea, correct?
Who said? You cannot get into the business for the fashion of it. Excellent. Azim Premji is well reasoned. The activity which occurs when the new venture is started is called.
Strong choice. Departure point is right.
Which of the following shows the process of creating something new?
Or
Nice selection. Innovation is correct.
What economic model best represents the product and factor markets? Sharp thinking. Circular flow is right. Dash is money supplied by investors, banks, or owners of a business.
Nice work. Capital fits perfectly.
Which of the following is not within the scope of business economics?
You got it. Accounting standards fits.
The following are under specific business environment, except for dash.
Smart move. Sociocultural is accurate answer.
It is the easiest and least expensive form of business organizations.
Solid response. Sole proprietorship is valid.
Factors over which the business has little control over is called the. Well picked. Operating environment is correct. Strengths and weaknesses in a business as referred to by SWOT analysis. Correct. Internal factors is spot on. Which of the following is not a general force in business environment?
Great job. Competitors' environment is accurate.
This type of law deals with the private legal rights of an individual.
Well done. Civil is right. The formal greeting with which a business letter begins is called dash. Right choice. Salutation is best. Dash further spark connection between your business and customer base. Bravo. Brand story is the answer. Employees can demonstrate their customer service mindset by using good. Valid point. Telephone techniques is true. A decrease in owner's equity resulting from the operation of a business? On track. Expense is correct.
Which type of business organization is managed by a board of directors? Clear logic. Corporation is sound.
All of the following are steps in the business planning process except. Perfect. Deleting information is the one. At which level of the strategy will the marketing manager get involved?
Well reasoned. Functional strategy is correct.
Which of the following is the most common form of business organization? Good job. Sole proprietorship works well. An association of two or more persons who carry on a business for profit? Smart pick. Partnership is correct. A dash is a practice followed by people of a particular group or region.
Exactly. Custom makes sense.
Business process of creating relationship with and satisfying customers.
Correct response.
Marketing is accurate.
What is the recommended organizational unit for cost of sales accounting?
Right again. Functional area is valid. The surrounding conditions in which the business operates are called dash. You're right. Business environments is correct.
The removal of entry and growth restrictions on business and industry is.
Solid response. Liberalization is valid.
Assembling a product, identifying customers, and hiring employees are dash.
Smart pick. Business processes is correct.
Elements in the environment that could cause trouble for the business are.
Nice work. Threats fits perfectly.
Karma is a business philosophy that aims at maximizing dash in the long run.
Excellent. Customer value is well reasoned.
Dash defined business economics in reference with preparation of policies. Good thinking. Joel Dean is right. Cost leadership, differentiation, and focus strategies are examples of dash.
Great thinking. Business strategy is right.
Which of the following provides government protection of business property?
Bravo. Patents is the answer.
Short-range planning of specific actions the business will take.
You're right. Tactical planning is correct.
Which of the following is not a characteristic of the business environment?
Smart move. Simple is accurate answer.
Kotler identified 3 of the most important business orientations, including
Good job. Product works well.
Which type of business has to share profits, responsibility, and liabilities?
Nicely done. Partnership is solid.
This is generated by examining the goods and services sold in the community.
Right again. Business idea is valid.
Group of laws that define the methods for enforcing legal rights and duties.
Correct. Procedural law is spot on.
Long-term debt instruments used by both government and business are known as.
On track. Bones is correct.
Dash consists of consumers who purchase goods and services for personal use.
Perfect. Consumer market is the one.
External marketing data comes from sources outside the business, such as Dash.
Right choice. Trade journals is best.
This acts like a fire or a driving force that make every business successful.
Well picked. Principles is correct.
The economic resources of a business, like furniture, buildings, and land are.
Correct response. Assets is accurate.
Dash represents the short-term liabilities that a business owes to creditors.
Well done. Accounts payable is right.
Methodical exploration of an organization's data through statistical analysis.
Great job. Business analytics is accurate.
Though word tactics is most likely to be associated with which of the following?
Valid point. Operational strategy is true.
The provision of accounting information within the business is referred to as.
Strong choice. Management accounting is right.
The extent and nature of government intervention in business is an element of.
Nice selection. Political environment is correct.
Things outside a business that managers cannot control.
Excellent choice. External factors is right. Complete awareness and understanding of business environment is also known as. You got it. Environment scanning fits.
Principles that help define appropriate behavior in a business setting are dash.
Well reasoned. Business ethics is correct.
At what point on the business cycle would you have the lowest unemployment rate? Sharp thinking. Peak is right.
Where on the business cycle is real GDP increasing and unemployment decreasing? You chose expansion? Correct.
Dash is the study of how people produce, distribute, and use goods and services. Clear logic. Economics is sound. Dash, nature of business environment, suggests that environment keeps on changing. Exactly. Dynamic makes sense. A business organization that has some liability protection for the owner is a... Well-reasoned. Leux is correct. The SAP business workflow has dash process dimensions. Choose the correct answer. Exactly. 4 makes sense.
Which type of business has a greater stability and expertise to run the business?
Perfect. Partnership is the one. How many steps should be taken when doing a business environment analysis report?
Nice work. 4 fits perfectly. Dash is a fast-developing technique of business expansion by transferring rights. Excellent choice. Franchising is right. Which of the following is an outside factor that affects the business environment? Nicely done. Industry competition is solid. This is needed in every business. Without this, business operations will stagnate. Growth is the answer. An individual who initiates, creates, and manages a new business can be called dash. Nice selection. An entrepreneur is correct. A business is behaving unethically if its product's label contains what component? You're right. Misleading information is correct.
Dash is the term for all activities involved in developing and exchanging products.
Sharp thinking. Business is right.
The forces in business environment that affect all the business houses are known as.
Solid response. General is valid. Which of the following focuses on supporting the corporate and business strategies? Valid point. Operational strategy is true. Which of the following is not a cultural consideration for international marketers? Smart pick. Local laws is correct. What type of architecture does SAP Business Workflow use? Choose the correct answer. Well done. 3-tier is right. Nature of relationships of a country with foreign countries influences the business. Right again. Political environment is valid. Accountants should report all the business transactions or events in Ringgit Malaysia.
On track. Monetary is correct.
Which of the following is not a component of specific forces of business environment? Excellent. Technological conditions is well reasoned.
Dash entrepreneurs have the goal of leveraging business for the betterment of society.
Clear logic. Cultural is sound.
Activity involved with employing the resources of the business to generate revenues is. You got it. Operating fits? Good business letters are characterized by the following personal quality of the writer.
Right choice. Sincerity is best.
Name the function of management that involves monitoring how the business is performing.
Strong choice. Controlling is right.
These are easily convertible into cash within the normal operating cycle of the business.
Correct. Current assets is spot on.
Is the scientific process of transforming data into insight for making better decisions.
Smart move. Business analytics is accurate answer.
To soften bad news, many business writers choose to use the DASH organizational strategy.
Good job. Indirect works well.
In business, which of the following tones should be part of every written communications?
Well picked. Polite is correct. Completing a business environmental analysis report can help the business with future dash. Great job. Growth is accurate.
In business, risk can be dashed through appropriate management techniques and diversification.
You chose reduced. Correct.
Which form of business ownership, excluding a sole proprietorship, is the least expensive?
Correct response. Partnership is accurate.
Sending and interpreting messages related to products, services, or activities of a company. Great thinking. Business communication is right.
Represents measurements, and therefore their values can't be counted by they can be measured.
Good thinking. Continuous variable is right.
Employees, managers, location, and legal business structure are all part of which environment?
Nicely done. Internal is solid. Remuneration of employees should be just and fair. Is related to which business environment? Exactly. Social makes sense. Businesses began turning to business intelligence and predictive analytic software solutions. Smart pick by 2000s is correct.
Legal rules and regulations relevant to business are included in dash environment of business. Clear logic. Legal is sound.
The capacity for innovation, investment, and expansion in new markets, products, and techniques.
Solid response. Entrepreneurship is valid.
Concept: a business's records should never be mixed with an owner's personal records and reports.
Correct. Business entity is spot on. Analysis of the changes in business environment explains which feature of business environment. Good thinking. Dynamic is right.
A business organization where the owners are personally responsible for the business debts.
Well picked. C Corporation is correct.
Business users can choose the required reports.
Correct response. Generate reports is accurate.
Which of the following characterizes the business philosophy of the Japanese distribution channels?
Sharp thinking. Loyalty is right.
An organization or enterprising entity engaged in commercial, industrial, or professional activities.
Excellent. Business is well reasoned. A dash strategy determines the direction the organization will take in making directional decisions. Smart move. Corporate is accurate answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
Right choice. Contact Narayan Chengder is best.